Alright, people, on the real, I don't usually do SmackDown reviews because let's face it, SmackDown has been real sucky as of late, and it's been to the point where I really just did not necessarily care about the show at all because it's just been the same mediocre crap. But I have to admit, I happen to like the SmackDown for this past Friday. Yes, it is the Saturday night edition. Nothing special, it's on Saturday night. But anyway, the thing about it is, I really did like the opener with the Miz. The Miz is now my second favorite heel. Like seriously, he's my second favorite heel because this guy can bring the heat. I'm not gonna lie, he will literally bring the heat, and he would. I mean, not only with the fans, not only does he bring the heat with the fans, he brings the heat out of the actual people, his opponents. I mean, that segment was awesome, especially with Daniel Bryan. It really does put. He really loves to play in the heads of his opponents, of his challengers, and I really do like that. And it also kind of gives you a little bit of foreshadowing there. Like, is it like the way that things are going? Is Daniel Bryan a weak link? Is it possible that Daniel Bryan is going to cause the tag team champions cause Hell No to lose? Like, it kind of makes you think about it, and that's why I really like that segment. It kind of spiraled into chaos a little bit, and it was just one big cluster of mess when the Big Show and when Dolph Ziggler rolled in. But I understand exactly why they did that. Trying to kind of beef up the main event between, actually trying to beef up the heat with the Big Show. It's a given. But honestly, Dolph Ziggler coming in there saying, talking about that it was all about him and Money in the Bank, and I'm like, you know what? It's not. Like, that briefcase has been mocked. No matter, I mean, pretty much every single freaking night. From the matches that he's had that he hasn't won, he has not looked strong. Like, I'm gonna be real. I love Dolph Ziggler as a heel, but but he has not been booked strong at all. Going up to whenever he's gonna cash the Money in the Bank, it has been like so mediocre. Like, that briefcase has meant nothing for the past few months, in my opinion. Like, he's just been holding it as like some kind of a trinket, like something, like some kind of ornament or something that he just wears on his arm. Like, seriously, it has that briefcase is not being taken seriously at all. So honestly, him coming out there, in my opinion, was pointless because that briefcase is meaningless. It doesn't mean anything for being a Money in the Bank champion anymore. Or, I mean, seriously, it doesn't at all. But anyway, moving on from there, the matches were always solid. They're always solid. But it's a given. I mean, but I have to say that right after the segment that when I mean right after the segment when Booker T came out, seriously, the Miz kind of nailed it right there. Seriously, because it was a given that Booker T was gonna probably pull a Teddy Long. That he was gonna actually like do the matches, like he was gonna have Hell No versus the Big Show, the Miz, and that, like, try to make it like a handicap match. I mean, for real, I love the Miz for that. Like, he called it, and everybody was like, "Burn!" Like, seriously, I thought that was just awesome. And let's face it, if you looked in the eyes of Booker T, we all knew that that was what he was going to do. We all knew that was what he was thinking. But seriously, it was still the same thing. When the Miz called it, he still called it because it was still the same thing. Like, for real, it wasn't a main event style match. We kind of knew. But in the end, we all know that when it comes to the heels getting their comeuppance, the one person that they're going to call is who? Randall Keith Orton. We all knew that the apex predator is going to like literally get the scraps of any heel that comes around. I'm gonna be real. Randy Orton has been given scraps as of late. Sure, he's not a true face. We all know he's not a true face. But this dude has been handed scraps after scraps after scraps every single night. When it comes to SmackDown or Raw, he gets scraps. He has not had a decent feud in months. And sure, we know because he's being punished after him getting caught for smoking weed. Yeah, we got it. He did his 6 months. It's time for him to move on, and it's time for him to make that paper. Seriously. But it's to the point where he's been handing scraps after night. So I'm like, dude, why do you even bother coming out? But anyway, there are three things that kind of did not make any sense to me and pissed me off a little bit. let's go into the third thing. I am sick to death of the Divas matches being talked about. Like, seriously, the Divas matches are being talked over, and it's all about Eve. Nobody paid attention to the Divas match. It was all about freaking Eve. Natalya didn't even get her music played on the air. And then Layla was really, I mean, she really wasn't on point tonight. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. It's human error to botch. I'm not gonna mock him about botching. It's human error to botch. We get it. But the thing about it is, she really was not on point tonight. She was kind of off. I don't know what was going on. Maybe there was something on her mind. And after seeing those commercials about what happened to her mom, I guess maybe that could set with you. But I'm not gonna go there. But the thing about it is, it was a solid match, even though there was a couple of botches there. But I'm really getting tired of it being all about Eve. They need to focus on the other divas too and try to fix the divas division. Get rid of that tramp stamp belt. But anyway, I'm moving on from there. Okay, number 2. Why on earth do you even bother having a U.S. title match if you were going to consistently mock it night after night after night by having Antonio Cesaro be the champion? I like Antonio Cesaro. I think the guy really is great as a heel. But let's face it, we know that he does not have an accent. Sure, he's multilingual, which means that he can speak fairly well. We've heard him speak before. Why on earth does the WWE decide to go back to the 80s and find out if somebody's from another country that they, boom, have an instant accent? It's ridiculous, okay? Kofi Kingston's from Jamaica, but he's Jamaican and he's from Ghana. Now he speaks American. Can we do the same thing with Antonio Cesaro? It's ridiculous. Not to mention the fact that he's had really mediocre performances as of late. I mean, seriously, even though he puts the belt up for grabs, the matches last like, what, 2 minutes? And it's just pathetic at that. Not to mention the fact that I was real pissed off with the fact they have not done anything with Ted DiBiase. He has the face of being a champion. He has the face of actually going out there and doing something for the belt. He has the face to represent what that belt is. I prefer him to be a heel, but now that he's a face, they gotta do something with him. This guy can have a great feud with Antonio Cesaro. I mean, sure, he has to like amp it up a little bit, and he was a little bit sluggish in the ring, but either or, he could really have a great feud with Antonio Cesaro and actually give him a run for his money and do something for that belt instead of having it there as a complete trinket. I'm just tired of it. The first and number one thing that pissed me off the most was why on earth are you going to have an awesome match like Sheamus versus Wade Barrett on free TV, not once, not twice, but 3 times, but this time making it a lumberjack match? Yeah, how original Teddy Long is that? Like, I'm not even going to hate on Teddy Long. I love me some Teddy. But this match should have been on a pay-per-view for the title a long time ago. In my opinion, it should be all about Wade. It should not be the Big Show. The Big Show had his shot. He's had his massive feud with Mark Henry. He's had his championship runs. The guy's a grand slammer. Can we move on from Big Show, please, and focus on Wade Barrett? Wade Barrett should be in that title running. Wade Barrett should be in that match at Hell in a Cell, not the Big Show. Seriously. But all in all, this was a pretty good SmackDown. I liked the opening segment. The closing segment wasn't bad because it actually gave you a taste of what was going on in Hell in a Cell. It's great to see JBL on commentary, but I'm going to be real. Even though that Randy Orton is having a feud with Alberto Del Rio, it still does not seem like it's just worth its grain in anything. Like, seriously, it just doesn't seem like it is the same caliber that Randy Orton is used to. Not to mention the fact that I'm not sure if it's going to do anything for Alberto Del Rio. But either or, this was a solid SmackDown. Regardless of the many things that kind of pissed me off, I have to say that it really wasn't all that bad. And I'm happy that I actually did watch it. And I actually did go to sleep the first time. But either or, it really wasn't all that bad. But I want to hear what you guys think about this. Leave your comments in the comment section below or send me a video response. I'm curious to what you guys think of how SmackDown was. Was it sucky as usual, or do you think it has a little bit of interest? Just let me know. This is Ninja Girl 30 signing off. Peace out. Later.